Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. In this video, we will continue our discussion on evaluation of performance of classifier. In the previous video, we talked about classification accuracy, which is not a good measure when the classes are imbalanced or skewed. We also talked about what do we mean by true positive, true negative, false positive, and false negative. Using these quantities, we constructed a confusion matrix, and we also defined other metrics such as sensitivity, which is also called recall or true positive rate. We define specificity, and we define precision. In this short video, I will talk about the trade-off between these metrics. That when we attempt to increase sensitivity, what is the impact on precision? What is the impact of increasing sensitivity on specificity? And we also talk about how can we analyze these measures, or how can we define some measures that can combine these different metrics to form a single measure. Okay, let's start with a trade-off between precision and sensitivity. And that's how we defined sensitivity and precision. If you let me, okay. If you see true positive rate, recall, or sensitivity, so what does it quantify? Right? In the numerator, what do we have? TP, true positives. The number of data points that were labeled positive and your classifier also predicted as positive. In the denominator, we have the total number of points that had the gold label positive. Or we can say recall or sensitivity is the ratio of positive instances that are correctly detected. Okay, what is precision? In precision, we have true positive in the numerator, and we have true positive and false positive in the denominator. What is this quantity in the denominator? All the points that have been corrected, that have been predicted as positive. So both true positive and false positive. Or we can say precision is the accuracy of your positive predictions. Okay, let's review these two for a disease detection problem. So in disease detection problem, so sensitivity quantifies how good we are at detecting diseased people. And precision informs us how many have been correctly diagnosed as unhealthy. So what do we require in disease detection? Do we require high recall, or do we require high precision, or both? In disease detection problem, we require high recall. If model detects that applicant is not suffering from disease, applicant must be healthy, applicant must not be suffering from disease. So model should reduce false negatives. And if you see definition of sensitivity, this false negative term, this is appearing in the denominator. So if you want to reduce the false negative, this will increase recall, this will increase sensitivity. Agree? But there could be applications in which we also require high precision. For example, if you take a YouTube example, right, in which you restrict, you have a child mode enabled, and you do not want violent content for the kids. So model in such a model should have high precision, and such a model should reduce the false positive. It simply means if model has classified the video is good for kids, it must be safe to watch by kids. So this can be reduced by so this can be done by reducing the false positive. And if you see, this false positive quantity is appearing in the denominator. So when false positive reduces, precision increases. To understand this, the trade-off between sensitivity and precision, let's see this table. Confusion matrix. How do we define sensitivity? Recall. You sum true positive and false negative, and you divide true positive by sum of these two terms. Precision. You divide true positive by the sum of true positive and false positive. Right? Okay, for example, in disease reduction problem, if you diagnose everyone as unhealthy, right? What about false negative? You are not predicting anyone as negative. So false negative is 0, true negative is 0. Agree? What about sensitivity? The sum of true positive and false negative is true positive. So sensitivity in such a case would be 1, right? What about precision? So since true negative is 0, so Tn is equal to 0, you have diagnosed everyone as healthy. So you have diagnosed everyone as unhealthy, right? So true negative is 0. So when true negative is 0, this will increase false positive. When false positive increases, so precision goes down because false positive is appearing in the denominator in the definition of precision. So if we diagnose everyone as unhealthy, so we can make sensitivity, we can make recall close to 1, equal to 1 in fact, but at the cost of low precision. In an ideal scenario, we want high precision and we want high sensitivity. Right? In an ideal scenario, when we have a perfectly separable data, both precision and recall can get maximum value of 1. But in practical situation, we have noise in the data set, or we can say the data set is not perfectly separable. In such a case, some points of positive class closer to the negative class and some point of negative class are closer to the positive class, right? So in such cases, shifting decision boundary can either increase the precision or it can either increase the recall. So we see a trade-off between recall and precision. And we will define a measure, what we call F1 score. In fact, we will define F beta score that combines precision and sensitivity in some way and gives you one score to evaluate the performance of classifier. We will define F1 score in the next video. But for now, the message here is that there is a trade-off between recall and precision. You cannot have both close to 1 at the same time in practical situations. Okay, let's talk about one more trade-off, which is between sensitivity and specificity. Sensitivity is the proportion of the diseased people that we correctly classify as being diseased. So we have true positive, divided positive, same definition, we know sensitivity. But what is specificity? It's the proportion of all the healthy people that we correctly classify as being healthy. Specificity and sensitivity inform us that how good we are at detecting healthy and diseased people respectively. If we diagnose everyone healthy, what about specificity? What about false positive? So false positive would be 0 because we're not predicting anyone as positive, right? So specificity in this case would be equal to 1. But what about sensitivity? Sensitivity would be equal to 0 since True positive would be equal to 0, as we're not predicting anyone as positive. We're not predicting anyone as diseased, right? So there's a trade-off between specificity and sensitivity. Ideally, we want both specificity and sensitivity equal to 1. But this is unrealistic in practice, primarily due to the same reason that the classes are not perfectly separable. We cannot find a decision boundary that perfectly separates the data from two classes. Let me illustrate this trade-off with the help of the same disease detection example. Okay, we take this distribution of the data. Let me explain this distribution. And this green curve is a distribution of data points without disease from class 1. And this red curve, the distribution of data points with label 1 with disease, right? If these two curves are separable, so there's no overlap between these two, so then we can find a threshold, we can find a decision boundary that perfectly separates these two classes. But in practice, we have overlap as indicated here. If you see, I have indicated this threshold, this dashed line, right? And currently this threshold is at 0.5. If your hypothesis function assigns some score to a test point, say 0.6, so you would predict it as, you would give a label of class 1 to that data point. Similarly, if your classifier assigns 0.4 score to some data point, you would assign label 0 to that data point. So false negative and false positive would be in this region of overlap. So every false positive point would be detected here. That means it belongs to the class. It's false positive, right? That means you have predicted it positive, but it is not positive. So it belongs to the class 0. It belongs to the negative class, but you have predicted as positive. Similarly, so here you would get false negatives. If these two are separable, false negative is 0, false positive is 0, sensitivity is equal to 1, specificity equal to 1, accuracy is 100%, right? But we have this overlap. Okay, what if I change this threshold, right? And say if I move this threshold, okay, if I move this threshold here, then so all of the points that are positive will be predicted as positive. This would make sensitivity equal to 1, but specificity won't be equal to 1. What about this case? All of the points that are negative has been predicted as negative. So in this case, specificity is equal to 1, but sensitivity would be less than 1. Right? Okay, ask a question. So is specificity is equal to 0.8 and sensitivity 0.7 better than specificity is equal to 0.7 and sensitivity is equal to 0.8? Okay, let's take this disease detection example. In this example, in this application, we do not want to misdiagnose any diseased people, but we are happy to tolerate diagnosing some healthy people as diseased because they are likely subject to more tests and later discovered to be healthy. But you do not want to misdiagnose any diseased people as healthy. It means, so do you want higher specificity or you want higher sensitivity? You want higher sensitivity. You do not want to misdiagnose any people. So in this disease diagnosis, we are happy to reduce specificity in order to increase sensitivity. So we can say SP is equal to 0.7 and S is equal to 0.8 is better than other values. Why? So when specificity is equal to 0.7, it indicates that 30% of healthy people will incorrectly test positive. Sensitivity equal to 0.8 means our test will correctly identify 80% of people with the disease. Right, so we have, this is better than when then SP is equal to 0.8 and SE is equal to 0.7. In other applications, we may have different requirements, right? So we need to study the relationship between specificity and sensitivity. That what's the trade-off between specificity and sensitivity? And to facilitate these different requirements in different applications, we analyze this relationship with the help of receiver operating characteristics, what we call ROC curves, right? Let's talk about what do you mean by this receiver operating characteristic curve, ROC curve. Okay, why do we call these ROC curve or receiver operating characteristic? So these were first developed during the World War II to statistically model false positive and false negative detections of radar operators. And since then, we had been referring to these curves as a receiver operating characteristic curve. Okay, what is ROC curve? It is a plot of sensitivity against false positive rate, and false positive rate is 1 minus specificity. So it is not directly we are plotting sensitivity versus specificity, but instead we have sensitivity versus 1 minus specificity. And it is also known as sensitivity 1 minus specificity plot. How do we get this ROC curve? Okay, we again see the same distribution of the data points. Here, threshold is 0.5. Right? If I change this threshold, I will get a new pair of sensitivity and specificity. For each value of threshold, I will get different values of, I will get different pair of values of sensitivity, specificity, right? And when you plot sensitivity versus 1 minus specificity for different values of threshold, that is in fact what we call receiver operating characteristic curve, ROC curve. Okay. If I make this threshold 0, what about sensitivity? Sensitivity is equal to 1, right? In fact, sensitivity, if you take this threshold for all of these values, threshold for any of these threshold values, sensitivity or true positive rate would be equal to 1. But for these dashed lines, when threshold is equal to 0, false positive rate is also 1. Consequently, specificity is equal to 0. If I make threshold here, in fact, all of these values of threshold anywhere here, specificity is equal to 1. But when threshold is exactly 1, sensitivity is 0, specificity is 1, and consequently false positive rate is 1. So you keep on changing this value of threshold, you will get a pair of values, right? A pair of sensitivity, specificity values. And if you plot sensitivity versus 1 minus specificity, you will get something like this. Right? So here on y-axis, I have true positive rate, sensitivity. On x-axis, I have false positive rate, FPR, which is 1 minus specificity. Right? Okay, if I ask you that what is, can you mark the performance of an ideal classifier, the best possible classifier on this two-dimensional ROC region? So you would say, I want true positive rate is equal to 1 and false positive rate is equal to 0. So that is this point indeed, where sensitivity is 1 and specificity is also 1, because 1 minus specificity is 0. This is upper left corner of this ROC space, right? If your classifier, you change threshold and your classifier follows, the pair of values follows this center line. This you say that your classifier does not have any power. Classifier is making random guesses, right? So this line is called the line of no discrimination, this diagonal line. So you would expect your classifier to be somewhere between this no power line and this ideal curve. So ideal curve would be, let me change color. Yeah. So ideal curve looks like this, step function. So your practical classifier would be somewhere between no power line and your step. Right? And if you have a classifier with that has something like this ROC curve, so this is better than this intermediate one. And to quantify the performance of classifier, we can compute the area under this ROC curve. Right? So ROC curve is for different values of sensitivity, 1 minus specificity, but you can integrate over 1 minus specificity curve and you get the area under the curve. So area under the curve would quantify the power of your classifier. If the area under the curve is equal to 0.5, that means you are computing area of the no power line. Okay. So, and for this red curve, this one, area under the curve is greater than what we had for the intermediate curve. So area under the ROC curve is known as AUC in the literature. So that quantifies the performance of your classifier. Right? So using ROC curve or using area under the curve, we can select optimal models, or we can discard suboptimal classifiers. Right? You can compare the performance of different classifiers using ROC curve. So a classifier with ROC curve close to the ideal curve is a better classifier. Or a classifier with larger value of area under the curve, AUC, is a better classifier, is an optimal classifier. Okay, so, so that was all for trade-off between sensitivity and precision, and sensitivity and specificity. In the next video, we will talk about how can we combine sensitivity and precision, recall and precision, to form a single metric to evaluate the performance of classifier. We stop here and we'll continue in the next module. Thank you.